But seriously, as far as the frequency is concerned, and frequency has been something that I've been very interested in studying because of my studies in the yogic philosophies and studying ascended masters and studying masters who've walked the earth. They, especially in the yogic philosophies uh, and thought about raising that frequency to a point where you're able to connect with that information, which is what you're saying essentially. And that's why these yogis who've been meditating for 30 years or 40 years, they're able to connect with information at a different level than we are. So my question to you is, how do we raise our frequency, our vibration?
Well, Bashar has a very specific way of telling us how to do that, and it all
Mhm.
revolves around acting on our passion. Now, people again hear these phrases a lot, act on your passion, act on your bliss, live your dreams. But as far as I can tell, at least in the beginning, Bashar is one of the only sources that explains why that's important. And he explains it again physically, mechanically.
Mhm.
And his explanation is, we have this physical mind, but we also have a non-physical higher mind. Most of our beingness is not physical. This is a small portion of who we are as greater beings. But the higher mind communicates to the physical mind, and it does so in terms of energies and frequencies. And the messages that it sends are translated through our physical mind into our physical bodies as the sensation we call passion, excitement, creativity, love, attraction. So when you understand that acting on your passion is actually a response to your higher mind saying, this is who you are, this is the next step on your path. Action is necessary because action is the language of physical reality, not words, not thoughts, actions, physical action. So when you act on your passion, you are responding to the higher mind. You're saying, I heard you and I believe you and I'm trusting your guidance. And so I will act on the thing you have sent me as an opportunity synchronistically that contains the most excitement at this moment more than any other option, because your higher mind is telling you, here's the next step. So if you do that, then you're beginning this dialogue with the higher mind. You're creating a back and forth. If you don't act on your passion, your higher mind isn't going to send you any more opportunities to do so until you act on what it's already sent you, because that would simply make no sense. But if you keep doing that over and over and over again, the higher mind going, okay, you're receptive, you're following my guide, you're following my lead, and I will keep sending you more and more opportunities that contain excitement and passion for you to act on, because I see you're willing to do so. And then you're willing to accept the guidance that will lead you through life in a joyful way. So that's the mechanism behind it. Again, is resonance, it's frequency, it's energy communication. But we have to understand that the higher mind speaks in energy terms, but the physical mind has to speak in actions because we're physical.
So in other words, if we are going to, if we're talking about leaving our job, we could talk about it all what we want, but no other opportunities will present themselves until you physically quit your job and leave
Or
it.
something will force you to get out if
Yes, I remember.
right, yeah. And it is the action on your passion that raises your frequency, because you're being true to yourself, you're closer to your core frequency of who you really are. So acting on your passion in specific ways is what allows you to raise your vibration
You
naturally.
you you said something very interesting right there. Core vibration. What is that? Is that do we come in with
Yes.
a dial on the knob that is
Yes.
where we're supposed to resonate? So
It's our
Jesus is here,
yes.
Buddha's here, we're here, and then but that's the core?
Well, no, we all have the same core. We all
Okay.
have the same core. What gets in the way of that core are the filters we impose upon ourselves with our negative and fear-based belief systems. So it's about getting all that clutter out of the way so that the true vibration of our core essential being comes through unimpeded. We all
Right. So
have the
the
same core.
so in other words, we all have the ability to get up to the higher levels. It's just the amount of crap that we've piled on ourselves that we have to kind of strip away.
Yeah, or the themes that we've chosen to explore that may be for the purpose of keeping us at a certain level, because that can actually serve a purpose for some spirits, some souls, to just experience. I'm just going to stay here. That's the lesson I'm learning. And that's what
Right.
this life is all about. But essentially, yes, we all have the same potential, but it's colored by whatever it is we've decided we're going to experience as physical beings, adopting belief systems that then are in keeping with that theme of exploration. But most of us have the ability to sort of expand that to a great degree.
To watch the full video, click on the link below, and don't forget to subscribe.